Chiral images are what we call non-superimposable. So if we put this hand, over this hand, we can see that the two thumbs sticking out are not the same. This means these hands are chiral. If you have two left hands, then these two hands are what are called achiral. They are the same, achiral. Now let's talk about isomers. These are what are called constitutional isomers. They're not the same compound, but they have the same chemical formula. As you can see, the chlorines are on different carbons. These are constitutional isomers. These two compounds might look different, but are actually the same compound. They're just looked at from a different angle. These wedges here just mean the chlorines are coming out of the page, and these chlorines are going into the page. Now, if we turn this one 180 degrees so that the chlorines are facing us, we get this compound. These are identical isomers. These two compounds are mirror images of each other. As we can see, they are chiral. When two compounds are chiral, we call them enantiomers. I've changed this compound up a bit, so now these two are coming out of the page. These are no longer mirror images and are achiral, and we call these two kinds of compounds diastereomers. They have the same chemical formula, but are not mirrored images. We call that generally diastereomeric compounds. I've drawn two compounds here. What are they in relation to each other? Pause the video, think about it for a second. These two compounds are not chiral, achiral. They're not even isomers. You see this iodide up here. So they're not isomers. I've taken away the iodide. What are they now? Pause the video, think about it. These are identical compounds. And they are superimposable, so they are achiral. Two more compounds here. How do they relate to each other? As we can see, they are mirror images of each other, and they are non-superimposable. Therefore, they are chiral enantiomers. Here's a harder one for you. How do these relate to each other? If we flip this upside down, we get this compound. So these are identical. Achiral. How do these two compounds relate to each other? These are constitutional isomers. How do these two compounds relate to each other? Think about it. These are not isomers. What about these two? How do they relate to each other? Pause the video if you need to. These are diastereomers. What about here? How do these two relate to each other? These are chiral enantiomers. How do these two relate to each other? Give it a second. Think about it. These are identical. How do these two compounds relate to each other? Think about it for a second if you need to. Pause the video. These are identical. And now you know how to discern whether two compounds are chiral or not. Good job.